Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting episode of AI Wins. And in AI Wins, this is a podcast where we dive into the wild world. Yes, you heard me right. The wild world of AI and automation. And we explore success stories and game changing innovations. And each episode is packed with insights to help us understand how we can stay ahead of this ever evolving, mind opening tech landscape. And this podcast is powered by Connectix, where they deliver AI enhanced business support that elevates efficiency and scale success. And now, in this episode, we would be talking about something pretty interesting, something that has been gaining traction slowly but gradually, and it's scaling up. We're going to be talking about adopting knowledge management and customer service in this new era. And we've got on show CEO of LivePro, Brad Shaw. Welcome on the show, Brad.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks for having me, mate.
Lovely having you as well. So let's break the ice. Let's say who you are, what you do, and what LivePro is. Let's start there.
Thanks, mate. LivePro is a customer experience knowledge management system. And what that actually means is that we are looking at delivering an answer to a customer through whatever channel they want to ask the question. If they ask it via a website, via a chatbot, or calling a contact center. And the big focus in LivePro is delivering the answer. It's not about delivering information because customers don't want information. They don't want a 10-page PDF. They want the answer to their question. And that's what LivePro focuses on.
Pretty nifty of how you exactly tackle the issue right on the bud. They are not looking for uh, over 10 pages long PDFs or even longer books that are thick enough to be holding a door, but rather the definite answer itself. And I believe that LivePro has been there for a long time. Let's talk about that evolve.
Yeah.
How would that
Well,
evolve?
actually, LivePro has been operating well over 20 years. And it came about when an organization came to the parent company of LivePro and said, we need to be delivering answers to our contact center agents more quickly and in a more succinct way. And so LivePro evolved from that. The great thing is that that same customer is still with us 20 something years later. And so since then, it obviously has gone through a lot of changes because of technology.
Yes.
And so, 8 to 10 years ago, it was converted to full cloud. And at the same time, the focus was broadened to delivering the answer to any channel. So it can be chatbots, can be websites, because customers want answers through a multitude of different channels. And so if they want to
Yes.
know an answer about a product, process, or procedure, they actually can go to LivePro and get that answer and be certain that it's gone through the full governance process and that the answer has been approved, it is the most current, and it's the one you can rely on.
Pretty interesting. You kind of tackled two questions at once, but you mentioned that LivePro went on cloud 8 to 10 years back, right when the cloud
Yeah,
migration was happening in the field of tech. Uh, so with those years and how the integrations of how I believe that LivePro integrates AI into the platform as
yeah.
well. So in that particular sphere, how does LivePro improve accuracy and efficiency? Two key terms that we are dealing with right now.
Is that there's two areas that I'll focus on there. Well, the one is just in general, and then I'll focus on AI.
Yeah, yeah,
So in general, as I mentioned, the big focus is to make sure that the knowledge is all approved and it's the most up to date. So it's got to have a governance framework to allow the organization to put the information in and then be able to track the enhancements and the changes to that knowledge through the subject matter experts, through the quality department, through the legal department, so that every single time the question's asked, it actually delivers the most up to date approved answer. And that's the big thing with AI. With AI, you've got to be really careful about where it's accessing the knowledge. Obviously, as an organization with a brand that you want to protect, you don't want ChatGPT, Claude, or any of the other generative AI systems crowdsourcing information about your product. You can't risk it going to ChatGPT without a lot of prompts and without guardrails and RAG in place
Yes.
so that it's not making things up. And that's where the knowledge management system comes into play. When ChatGPT hit the market with a big bang in January last year, everybody thought it was going to do everything until people sat back and thought for a little while and thought, well, wait a minute, it's a system that understands language. It's not an encyclopedia that is absolutely correct. And what organizations have realized and what LivePro uh, is harnessing is the ability to actually quarantine its answers just to the approved questions and the approved answers within the system. I remember when ChatGPT, was getting all the press, and my competitors were putting out little gimmicky AI things, and somebody asked me, "What is LivePro's AI strategy?" And I said, "My strategy is exactly the same as what it was last year, the year before, and the year before, and that is to deliver answers to customers through whatever channel they ask the question and deliver it as quickly as possible." And what we obviously have done is continued to identify the best technology to be able to do that. Currently, it's AI and voice agent assistance as well. So it's a matter of harnessing the most appropriate technology to deliver exactly what we're here for, an answer to a customer.
An answer to the customer and picking the two key words out of your answer as simple as possible and as quickly as
Correct.
possible.
Yeah,
Yes, that's the final outcome that all customers are waiting for. Not AI. AI is a medium or a channel
absolutely.
or a technology that's currently being used, and who knows what's in store for the next 10, 20, or even beyond.
Well, AI has been around for a long time, as you know. Uh, and,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and ChatGPT is just the latest flavor of the month. There's going to be lots more.
It is.
And,
Yeah.
if you know what your big focus is, then you'll utilize the best technology to do that. And we're very clear. I've said it a number of times already, but we are very clear. We deliver answers to customers. And as you said, they want it accurate and fast. There's a need for speed in customer service that people forget.
Need for speed and a need for accuracy. That will never get old. That will never stale of whatever technology that comes our way. Uh, in you mentioned agents as well, and with the technology changing the wink of an eye, how does LivePro ensure that the solutions that they provide, even through multiple channels, remain intuitive and user friendly for both agents and
Yeah.
customers?
And that is a really good, important question, particularly around any business, Jay. Every business
Yeah,
needs to know exactly what they want to be the best at. And so
yeah,
if LivePro knows that they want to be best in the world at delivering an answer to a customer through whatever channel, we've got to understand each one of those channels. We've got to understand the customers and we've got to understand the users. So with an agent, the agent in a contact center's main focus is, am I going to be able to answer the question for the customer, the next customer that calls? And can I do it quickly and sound like I am an authority on the matter? Give them the confidence that I'm not making it
yes,
up. So that when they ask the question, they get an answer and they hang up satisfied. Because customer experience managers in contact centers understand that if a customer's not sure that they got the answer right, they'll ring back. And so the recall is reduced when you've got an agent that is really confident. The second thing about an agent is the anxiety of what's the next call going to be like? Are they going to be angry? Am I going to be able to help them? Am I going to inflame the situation? If they actually have a system that they know they can rely on to give them the answer in conversational speed, then
yeah,
they can enjoy the conversation with the client rather than the anxiety of having to put them on hold and asking them to wait until they get the answer. Everybody in the contact center knows that if you're putting somebody on hold, they're not getting happier. They're actually getting less
they're not.
happy.
They're not. They're not.
And as technology evolves, LivePro's evolving that. So How do we give an answer to an agent more quickly? Well, the easy answer to that is we now use AI to listen in on the call. We're hearing what the customer is asking, and we're popping
Yeah.
the answer to the agent on their screen so they don't even need to search. So we're listening into the call, listening to the questions, going to LivePro, finding the answer and popping it to the agent. Or in a chatbot, LivePro is connected to the chatbot. We're watching what the customer is asking and we're popping the answer to the agent so that they don't need to even ask the question. The whole thing is, how do we increase the need for speed? How do we provide the answer to the agent so that they can concentrate on the conversation with the customer? And what we've done with AI is reduce the need for them to even do a search.
That's pretty sleek. So what you're talking about is pretty much real-time live action responses that pops up on a screen.
Yep.
Like right now, if I am the customer representative and you're asking me, I'd have the answer in front of me, and it's
Yes. That's called LivePro Agent Assist, and we provide that. You
okay.
know, the generative AI has given so many different opportunities to enhance.
Yes.
So remember, it's about delivering the answer to the customer through whatever channel they ask the question. So I've already spoken about an agent on the phone, an agent in a chat. There's other ways as well. For instance, Mitsubishi recently launched LivePro's Copilot. So
Okay.
it's LivePro has been integrated to Microsoft Dynamics, and
Yeah.
Microsoft Dynamics is integrated to ChatGPT. What happens now if you send an email to Mitsubishi? It actually knows your email address, so it can go to your Dynamics file. It can actually
Yes.
read your email in ChatGPT, find the questions, and then go to LivePro and deliver the answer. So the agent doesn't even need to reply anymore. ChatGPT
Mm,
and LivePro and Dynamics will actually provide the answer in the email for the agent just to review and make sure it's right. So it's in some organizations, it's reduced the turnaround time for emails from days down to hours because there's no work. And with ChatGPT and Claude and the other Gen AI models, it actually has different prompts as well. So if
yeah.
it's actually developed the email and it's too short or it doesn't have enough empathy or anything like that, you can just tell it to give it more empathy, and it's rewritten.
Yeah.
So yeah, the agents are really loving the fact that AI has helped making their life a lot easier.
It is. It is. And from the look of it, it's pretty much a like an empathetic one-man
yeah,
army that the agent has
yeah,
right at
yeah.
hand to give the help that the customer is looking for.
Exactly. So yeah, there's so many different ways, and as I said earlier, it's just about understanding what the technology can do and what your mission is. And our mission is to deliver an answer to a customer through whatever channel they ask. Keep watching the technology and understanding the customer and how they interact, and identify ways to be
Yeah.
able to deliver it more quickly.
Uh, Effectively, you are what you clearly mentioned before. Something that would have taken days is now being solved in hours.
And that's, yeah,
In It is. It is. And is there any other client success story that you would like to share with us where the AI capabilities of LivePro made a significant impact?
yeah. That look, in the way that you curate the knowledge.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, before technology took the advancements that it's taken in the last couple of years, a lot of
Yeah.
the work in procuring the knowledge was manual. And now we're using large language models to take 50-page knowledge articles that have been written that
Hmm.
agents used to have to leaf through to find an answer, and
Yeah.
using uh, large language models and other technology to actually ingest it
Yes.
into LivePro to just chunk it down to answers to questions. Similarly, now, if you're getting the ingestion of your knowledge automated, then it sort of comes in like a Google document, a Google search. So
Okay.
if you search something, it'll give you the answer and then all the related questions that are underneath it. So you just need to click and move on. The thing about knowledge, though, is that LivePro realized a long time ago that like
Yeah.
Microsoft learned delivering knowledge to people in just Word documents isn't just the answer. You've got to have PowerPoint, you've got to have Excel and
Yeah.
the other medium. LivePro's identified the same thing. So it's not just a simple FAQ. It's a
Mhm.
process guidance that has if-then tables. It's a knowledge triage system so that if somebody's calling about something complex, the system will triage some questions to get them down to the actual answer. So, am I eligible for this? That might be 15 different questions. The knowledge system actually gives those questions to the agent or to the client, and all they need to do is click and follow the bouncing ball to get their answer. So, it's a lot more complex, and AI has definitely helped with that. The emerging technology that a lot of people are very interested in is being able to eliminate the need for agents to take those routine, boring, repetitive calls. And agent AI assistants are definitely being developed so that when a call comes through, the AI agent assistant seeks to answer your simple questions first. And if it can't answer it, then we'll switch it through to an agent. So an agent's role is going to be a lot more complex going forward because they're not going to have those little fillers of simple questions. Every single question that comes through to them is going to be a complex one that hasn't been able to be answered by AI. So it won't be that long before you're
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, Google," and asking a question about a company's product, procedure, and process, and
Yeah.
Google will go to LivePro, get an answer, and deliver the answer to you via voice assistant.
Yeah. Speaking of Google, Gemini released their own new version and now it's making
Yep.
waves. And right now we have a tough competition. We thought OpenAI was way
Yep.
ahead and
Yep.
spoke of Google, and now things are changing.
It is.
But
It is definitely the wild frontier out there. Everybody is um, hitched the horses to the wagons, and they're going as fast as they can to get to the destination. So, yeah, look, every week I see a new advancement in all of those
yeah,
technologies. Relaxing at the moment with any of that is at your peril because there's going to be so many things happen within the next 6 months. Whatever you know now won't be as relevant in 6 months' time.
it would have gone stale and of no
Yeah,
use, to frankly put out there. You spoke of integrating Claude GPT and using pretty much, to mention the words empathetic one man army, the tech stack. A concern that any customer or any party would have is uh, the guardrails factor,
absolutely,
pretty much the governance.
absolutely.
Yeah. So how does LivePro tackle this? How does LivePro ensure that yes, the solution we provide is of utmost, is a solution that can be tested, proven, used in any context without any
Yeah,
reluctance?
it's the most important thing for any organization, and we're getting
Yes.
a number of customers that really treasure their brand and respect their brand,
Yes.
uh,
Yes.
interrogating our systems to make sure that we've got everything covered so that it's not the system isn't going to hallucinate and or provide a wrong answer. I
Yeah.
mentioned earlier that early in the excitement over Gen AI, there was a lot of gimmicky things put out and a lot of organizations thinking it was going to be able to do a lot of things that it can't. In fact, I even had, Jay, a couple of customers say, well, we're not going to need LivePro soon because ChatGPT is going to take it over. Um, and, anybody that actually asks Claude or ChatGPT, will you
Yeah.
replace a knowledge management system? They always come back with the answer is no, we only work with a knowledge management system. So the two things that you spoke about are key. The first one is the governance. I mentioned it earlier. An organization needs to have a system where they're 100% confident that the knowledge that the large language model is going to access is the approved knowledge, is the most up to date knowledge, and that it won't go outside of that. So the first thing is make sure your governance is right, which is one of the
Mm.
most important components of LivePro and
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
the areas that a number of knowledge management systems don't work very well with because they don't have a really robust enterprise governance
yeah,
system. But then it's about a matter of, as you've said, getting those guardrails, getting those prompts, and making sure you've got the RAG really closed down so that you're telling the system if you cannot get the answer from this repository, actually say, I can't answer the question. And we had that conversation on Friday with a client who's looking at delivering an answer via a voice agent, AI voice agent. And the conversation was, do you want them to be able to provide sort of social conversation? Like, do you want them to answer the question, what did you have for breakfast? Or can you give me a recipe for XYZ dish? And our answer at the moment is, let's not. Customers want an answer to their question as quickly as possible. Having a social interaction may be something that the odd customer enjoys, but
yeah,
if you have that social interaction, giving any chance that your large language model is going to use that to jump outside of their prompts and the guardrails to minimize the questions, you have to be cautious. So, with our guidance to customers is let's not at this point introduce the social conversation because it risks the model actually going off script. And you don't want your agents going off script. You definitely don't
yeah.
want your large language model going off script.
Models going
Yeah.
off script. So it's a pulse check pretty much, understanding where the customer is at in the journey of embracing the
Yes,
tech and also the context of the industry.
absolutely. I think organizations have yet to understand that they need one knowledge base for every channel. So they still have silos. You have the marketing department who's responsible for the website. You've got the contact center who's responsible for the agents. You've got the organization that has a voice assistant or a chat bot uh, putting little pieces of knowledge in to answer questions. Once organizations understand they've only got one set of procedures, processes, and customer and product information. Sorry, not customer information, but product information. And
Yeah,
you only need to manage it in one location and deliver it to everywhere else. Organizations will become way more efficient. But at the moment, there's still those silos, there's still those um, territories that people don't want to give up.
yeah,
Marketing department doesn't want to give up their control over that sort of
yeah,
information on the website. And so that's where I think organizations will need to evolve to get the most
yeah.
out of everything that AI and the new technology is going to deliver.
Yeah, and in that case, you raised a significant concern that people are not quite thinking of. Is pretty much the question that I wanted to ask before we conclude. Do you think AI is going to replace humans? That is a major concern as to why certain departments, and they throw up this brand excuse, they throw up this confidentiality excuse, thinking that, okay, will I lose my place in the team?
Yeah.
I personally don't think. What are your thoughts?
The question was, will it replace humans? The answer is it's not going to replace
Yes.
humans, but it is going to do
Yeah,
some of the things that humans currently do. It just will.
exactly.
And so there's going to be an evolution of what we need to do versus what we can get others to do. I mean, before I used to have to get out a street directory and leaf through some pages to work out how I'm going to get from point A to point B. AI changed that. It took the work out of my job, my personal job, to just Google Maps or one of the others actually telling me what turn to make next. So AI will change the environment. You're not going to have an environment where AI is eliminated from customer service. It's going to do some of your job, but it's an evolution. It's not going to do much of your job tomorrow. It will absolutely do some of the job you hate doing fairly soon.
Yeah.
But I can't see in the short term it having any situation where it can do really complex things that humans have to do. So it will do some of your job.
Yeah. And it'll make you smarter
It will make you
or
smarter
more
and will make
efficient.
you more efficient
Yeah.
and it'll make you more comfortable. You look at all of the things that AI is doing, and it is making most people's lives better. It's just the small, specific occasions when there's a chance that it may do something that a human does that people get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
They're not celebrating where it is going to help. And yes, it can write poetry, but it isn't going to be good poetry. Yes, it can write
No, it
songs,
isn't.
but is it going to
Yeah.
be good songs? Yes, it can draw pictures, but is it going to have that human element? The answer is no. So it will change things and it will do some of your job.
Yeah. It is. And that's what everyone said when the calculator came into the picture
Yes,
many years back.
yeah, exactly.
There you go.
And the
Yeah.
same thing with not needing printouts. I remember having to get paper printouts of reports.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There's certainly been a change of lots of changes. And look, I predicted about 4 or 5 years ago that chatbots were not a thing of the future, and I
Yeah.
really believe that the large language models and a smart search box can replace a chatbot, but it will take some time for organisations.
Yeah.
Uh, I was fairly young, and this hair didn't go grey overnight. When everybody said that we're going to have a paperless office, it took years before there was a paperless office. It doesn't
Yeah.
happen because
Yeah.
organisations have to evolve, and there's lots of investment in their current technology that they want to get a return from. So there is going to be a lot of change, but that's what the whole technology and understanding what your purpose is and understanding how
Yeah.
you help your customers is the most important thing. Don't introduce AI because you need to introduce AI. Introduce AI to deliver what your purpose is.
It is. Don't use AI for all the things in the world. It's not the silver bullet,
Correct.
but use it when
Yes.
needed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And adopt and evolve. What Darwin told many years back, it still
Yes.
applies.
Yeah. Yeah. So it is a matter of really, in my world, understanding
Yeah.
the what the customer wants and what an organization needs to do to protect their brand. And you brought it up earlier. It is vital that we get all the guardrails, all the prompts, and everything right so that a company can really rely on LivePro to deliver the right answer, the most approved answer.
Right answer in the simplest way and in the quickest way possible. Uh, Pretty insightful
Yes,
conversation,
sir.
Brad. Loved it. And what LivePro is doing, wishing the best with LivePro as well for what it does. And awesome. Thank you so much for being on the show. And uh, if our audience wants to get in touch with you once the episode is released, what would be the best way?
Brad.shaw@livepro.com. Just reach out. I would be flattered if somebody reached out. I'd love to have a chat to them about it. But and then I'll pass them over to one of my many team members to
Yes.
fix things up for them. But I'd love to have a chat with any of your audience. Brad.shaw at
Love.
livepro.com.
So there you go, brad.show@livepro.com. If you have any questions for Brad and for the team. So that's it
Awesome.
for today, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you so much,
Thanks,
Brad.
Jay. Have a good one. Bye.
Lovely. Thank you so much, and we'll be with another AI wizard again to see what they're doing in the world of AI.